Bloodlines and battle lines. I can't take the side of tyranny. It's not in my DNA. I've spent the better part of a decade tracing my family's story. 13 generations deep here in the USA. 15 if you count my great-grandchildren. Far deeper on the other side of both oceans. Every branch, every marriage, every war record I could find, I cross-checked names, tracked migrations, and even spat in a vial for science. What I found surprised me, not because of what was there, but because of what wasn't. Across hundreds of years of records, I found soldiers, farmers, teachers, preachers, abolitionists, immigrants, dissenters, survivors. I found exiled Protestants and defiant Scots, Anabaptist farmers, and abolitionist Methodists. I found quiet acts of rebellion and loud declarations of justice. I found one ancestor who fought for the wrong side, one. The rest, they fought against tyranny, against monarchy, against slavery, against fear. They crossed oceans for the right to believe, the right to speak, the right to build something better. Which is why I need to say something plainly, out loud, and in public. I cannot take the side of cruelty, oppression, or authoritarian control. It's not in my blood. It's not in my bones. It's not in my DNA. My family's faith was never passive. When people say faith of our fathers, they often mean hymns and hymnals. But in my family, faith meant action. It meant smuggling Bibles. It meant signing covenants at risk of death. It meant burying children during famine and still planting crops for the neighbors. These were not people who confused power with righteousness. These were people who left kingdoms because they couldn't stomach kings. They didn't own others. They sheltered them. They didn't hoard wealth. They passed bread. They didn't pray for domination. They prayed for peace. And they taught their children that the truest gospel is one lived out loud, in public, in protest, in compassion, in courage. I carry that faith forward. So when I hear people use Jesus to justify cruelty, when I hear scripture twisted into policy that cages children and criminalizes care, when I see pulpits bowing to power and calling it patriotism, and when I see democratically elected officials dancing and praising a bill that will cost lives, pay for racial purges, and all for the enrichment of only 89 people in these United States, something in me rises up. It's not just my conscience. It's my ancestry. I have a moral genealogy that won't let me be quiet. I have a generational memory encoded in my bloodstream that says, if you claim Christ, act like it. If you preach love, show it. If you come from courage, live it. And if you vote for cruelty, defend tyranny, or enable injustice under the banner of faith or freedom, don't count me among you. This isn't politics, it's lineage. I'm not drawing a line in the sand. Sand shifts. I'm drawing in blood and dirt, where my people toiled, where they bled, where they stood their ground so their children wouldn't have to bow. If you share my blood, then you share that responsibility. If you share my faith, then you share that call. We don't serve pharaohs. We serve freedom. We don't worship kings. We follow a Christ who broke every rule meant to keep people small. So no, I will never take the side of tyranny. Not now, not ever. It's not who we are. It's not who I am. And it is definitely not in my DNA. Scripture you might want to remember, He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Micah 6:8. You will know them by their fruits. Matthew 7:16. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds. Romans 12:2. What stories live in your bloodline that call you toward justice? How does faith or your family's legacy compel you to speak and act differently in this moment? Or where do you need to redraw your lines? Remember, you don't need royal blood to have a legacy. You just need to remember where you come from and choose where you'll stand. Have a blessed day. Peace be with you.